was the Queen for a very long time. And although you kind of know that this might happen, you don't really think about it very much. Not least of all because the monarchy is about continuity.
Princess Anne has always been known as the pillar of strength within the British royal family. The woman who never wavered, never sought attention, and never faltered under the immense weight of royal duty. But now, heartbreaking news has surfaced that has left not only the royal household, but the entire nation in deep sorrow. Throughout her life, Princess Anne has carried herself with dignity and quiet resilience. While others around her have often been caught in the storms of scandal and public criticism, she has remained steadfast, a symbol of loyalty, discipline, and unwavering devotion to her mother's legacy. Yet behind that stoic expression and firm composure, Anne has endured more pain than most could imagine. From personal losses to the burden of duty that never ends, her life has been a story of silent strength. But the latest revelation has struck at the very heart of that strength. Close sources within the palace have confirmed that Princess Anne has recently faced a devastating setback, one that has deeply affected both her health and her emotional well-being. For a woman who has always prioritized service above self, this sudden turn of events has reminded the public that even the most resilient hearts can break. As the royal family rallies behind her, the world watches with concern and sympathy. What exactly happened to the Princess Royal, and how will this affect her future in the monarchy? Today we uncover the heartbreaking truth behind Princess Anne's recent struggles, a story that reveals a deeply human side of a royal figure known for her strength, grace, and quiet courage. From the very beginning, Princess Anne has lived a life defined by service, duty, and quiet perseverance. Born on August 15, 1950, as the only daughter of Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip, she was raised under immense public scrutiny. Yet even as a young girl, Anne showed the same fortitude that would later make her one of the most dependable members of the royal family. Unlike her brothers, who often found the royal spotlight overwhelming, Anne seemed to thrive under pressure. She carried herself with confidence and poise, rarely letting the media intrusion or royal expectations shake her composure. Throughout her youth, Anne's natural athleticism and determination became evident. She was not only a skilled equestrian, but also a fierce competitor. In 1976, she made history by becoming the first British royal to compete in the Olympic Games, representing the United Kingdom in equestrian eventing. Her discipline and courage captured the admiration of the public, and her performance became a proud symbol of her unyielding spirit. Even then, it was clear that Princess Anne was not a woman who would be defined by titles alone. She was determined to carve her own identity through hard work and resilience. Behind her public persona, however, life in the royal family was far from easy. The constant demands of duty left little room for personal happiness. Her marriage to Captain Mark Phillips in 1973 was celebrated as a fairy tale, but over time cracks began to appear. The pressures of royal life, coupled with public scrutiny, eventually took their toll, leading to their separation and eventual divorce in 1992. Despite the heartbreak, Anne never allowed personal pain to overshadow her commitment to service. She remarried later that same year to Sir Timothy Lawrence, a naval officer who has stood by her side through both triumphs and trials. While her siblings often dominated headlines with controversy and drama, Anne's approach was remarkably different. She preferred to stay out of gossip columns and focus on her work, and work she did. Known as the hardest-working royal, Princess Anne frequently carried out over 400 official engagements a year. From visiting hospitals and charities to attending international events on behalf of the Crown, she remained relentless in her dedication. Those who have worked alongside her often describe her as direct, practical, and remarkably down-to-earth, qualities that earned her the respect of the British public. But even the strongest hearts are not immune to hardship. Recent reports have revealed that Princess Anne has been quietly facing serious health concerns following a troubling incident earlier this year. Palace sources have remained discreet, but it's known that she was hospitalized for several days after what was described as a medical episode. While official statements have played down the severity, those close to her say the experience deeply shook both the princess and her family. For someone who has always been defined by her stamina and resilience, This sudden vulnerability came as a painful reminder that even the most steadfast figures are still human. Friends and insiders have shared that the experience left Anne reflecting deeply on her life, her legacy, and the fragility of time. Despite the challenges, she has reportedly maintained her characteristic stoicism, refusing special treatment and insisting on returning to her royal duties as soon as possible. Princess Anne's recent struggles serve as a poignant reminder that beneath the crown and the titles lies a woman who has spent her entire life serving others, often at the expense of her own well-being. The heartbreaking news surrounding her health has touched millions, not because she is a princess, but because she embodies grace, strength, and humility, qualities the world can recognize and admire. When news of Princess Anne's health incident reached the public, the royal family was said to be deeply shaken. For decades, Anne has been regarded as the unbreakable backbone of the monarchy, the one member who never faltered, no matter the crisis. Her sudden hospitalization was therefore a moment of genuine fear and sadness, not only for her family but for an entire nation that has come to rely on her unwavering presence. King Charles III, who shares a close and deeply respectful bond with his younger sister, was among the first to visit her after the incident. Their relationship, though occasionally understated, has always been built on mutual admiration. While Charles has often carried the burden of the crown, Anne has been his silent support, offering guidance, honesty, and an unspoken understanding that only siblings who've endured a lifetime of duty can share. Sources close to the palace say that Charles was visibly emotional upon hearing the news, a rare glimpse into the softer side of a monarch who has always tried to maintain composure in public. For the royal family, Anne's situation was not just a personal worry, but also a sobering reminder of how fragile time can be. In recent years, the family has faced tremendous change: the loss of Queen Elizabeth II, the growing distance of Prince Harry and Meghan, and the ongoing health challenges of the king himself. Through it all, Princess Anne remained the steady force that kept the institution grounded. Her temporary absence from public duties left a noticeable void, one that even the most seasoned royals struggled to fill. Public reaction to the news was immediate and heartfelt. Across the United Kingdom, thousands took to social media to express concern and send prayers. Messages poured in from all corners of the Commonwealth, filled with admiration for a woman who had dedicated her life to quiet service rather than glamour. Many recalled her decades of charitable work, her countless appearances on behalf of veterans, farmers, and medical workers, all without ever seeking applause. The outpouring of emotion highlighted something unique about Princess Anne: her ability to inspire respect across generations. While some younger members of the royal family often find themselves criticized or misunderstood, Anne has managed to bridge the gap between tradition and modernity. Her straightforward manner, strong work ethic, and sense of humor have made her a figure of stability in an era when the monarchy faces growing scrutiny. Inside the palace, her recovery period has been described as both hopeful and challenging. Close aides say she has shown remarkable determination to resume her duties as quickly as possible, even against medical advice. She doesn't know how to slow down, one royal insider reportedly shared. Even after everything that happened, her first question wasn't about herself. It was about how soon she could return to work. That relentless drive is what has earned Anne her reputation as the hardest-working royal, but it's also what worries those closest to her. King Charles and other senior royals have reportedly urged her to take more time for rest. But anyone who knows Princess Anne understands that she views rest as a form of defeat. She believes her life's purpose is to serve, and that sense of responsibility continues to define her every decision. Still, those close to her hope that this experience will encourage her to slow down, even slightly, and focus on her well-being. For the British people, seeing their beloved princess in a moment of vulnerability has been both heartbreaking and deeply humanizing. It has reminded everyone that even the most steadfast royal figures are not immune to the frailties of life. The recent events surrounding Princess Anne have, in many ways, brought the royal family closer together, not as monarchs and heirs, but as siblings, children, and human beings bound by love and concern. In the months following her health scare, Princess Anne's gradual return to public life was met with a wave of admiration and relief. The sight of her once again stepping out in tailored coats and polished boots, greeting well-wishers with her familiar, understated smile, was a moment of reassurance for millions. Though visibly more cautious, Anne's resolve appeared unshaken, a testament to her strength and lifelong commitment to duty. Observers noted subtle changes in her demeanor. There was a newfound gentleness in her interactions, a quiet gratitude that hadn't always been visible before. Those close to her have shared that the experience of facing her own vulnerability left Anne more reflective about her life's purpose. While she has always seen herself as a servant of the crown, the near loss reminded her that behind the titles and ceremonies lies something far more fragile, life itself. Her first major public appearance after recovery came during a charity event dedicated to frontline workers, where she delivered a short yet deeply emotional speech. Her words carried the weight of experience. Service is not measured by how much we give, but by how much we continue to care, even when we ourselves are tested. The statement resonated deeply with those present, many of whom saw it as a rare glimpse into Anne's inner world. For decades, she has been known for her stoic composure, but in that moment, she allowed the world to see a flicker of emotion behind her famously reserved exterior. Her resilience became a source of inspiration across the nation. Newspapers and commentators praised her steadfast spirit, calling her the quiet heart of the monarchy. Younger members of the royal family, including Prince William and Princess Kate, reportedly expressed their admiration for her determination, often seeking her advice on balancing duty with personal life. Anne's wisdom, drawn from years of experience and sacrifice, became even more valued in the wake of her health battle. Despite her age, Anne's work ethic remains unmatched. She continues to attend engagements across the UK and abroad, sometimes visiting several organizations in a single day. Those who accompany her on these visits often remark that she never complains, never expects special treatment, and always makes time for everyone she meets, from senior officials to the youngest volunteers. Her grounded nature and humility have earned her deep respect not just within royal circles, but among ordinary citizens who see her as the most relatable member of the royal family. Yet, even as she resumes her relentless schedule, there's a quiet awareness among those close to her that the princess is no longer the unshakable figure she once was. Her health scare served as a reminder of mortality, something Anne has gracefully acknowledged. Insiders say she now prioritizes more time with her husband, Sir Timothy Lawrence, and her children, Peter Phillips and Zara Tyndall, cherishing family moments she once might have overlooked in her dedication to duty. The bond between Anne and her grandchildren has also grown stronger. She is often seen attending their equestrian events, smiling proudly from the sidelines, a rare but heartwarming glimpse into her softer side. For a woman whose life has been shaped by discipline and service, these simple family moments have become her quiet sanctuary. Through it all, Princess Anne has demonstrated that true royalty isn't about glamour or fame. It's about endurance, empathy, and grace in the face of adversity. Her journey through recovery and reflection has deepened the public's admiration for her, not as a symbol, but as a human being. The heartbreak she endured has only reinforced her legacy as one of the most resilient figures in modern royal history. As Princess Anne continues her life of service, her legacy stands as one of the most remarkable in royal history. While her name may not dominate headlines like some of her relatives, her influence runs deep within the heart of the monarchy and the British people. Through decades of change, loss, and uncertainty, Anne has remained the one constant, unwavering, reliable, and profoundly human. Her recent health challenges only deepened the respect and affection the public feels toward her, turning her story into one of strength, humility, and grace. For many, Anne represents the last true embodiment of her mother's spirit. Like Queen Elizabeth II, she carries herself with quiet dignity, never seeking attention, never asking for sympathy, and never allowing personal struggles to interfere with duty. Those who knew the late Queen often remark that Anne inherited her mother's sense of purpose, that same unspoken belief that service is a lifelong commitment, not a temporary role. Even as time moves forward and the monarchy evolves under King Charles III, Anne's presence remains a comforting reminder of the values that built the royal family's foundation. Behind palace doors, her sense of humor and sharp wit have become legendary. Those who work with her describe her as both direct and kind, someone who values honesty over flattery and effort over appearances. Despite her royal status, she insists on doing things herself whenever possible, from carrying her own bags during overseas visits to personally writing thank you notes to those she meets. It is this authenticity that has earned her a level of admiration rarely seen in public figures today. Princess Anne's journey has not been without sorrow. She has endured family separations, personal heartbreak, and the loss of loved ones, including her parents, whose passing left an irreplaceable void. Yet she has carried these burdens with quiet grace, never allowing grief to define her. Her resilience through tragedy has made her a figure of hope for many who see in her the power of endurance through pain. The recent health scare served as a stark reminder that even the strongest among us are vulnerable. But rather than retreat, Anne chose to turn her experience into quiet reflection and renewed purpose. Her continued service, despite the toll of age and health, sends a powerful message about perseverance and gratitude. It's no surprise that she remains one of the most respected royals across generations, admired not for glamour, but for authenticity. Public admiration for Anne extends beyond Britain. Across the Commonwealth, she is seen as a symbol of loyalty and dedication, a woman who works not for applause but for duty. Charities, hospitals, and organizations around the world often speak of her genuine interest and hands-on approach. She doesn't simply make appearances. She listens, learns, and remembers. For those she meets, even briefly, the encounter leaves a lasting impression. In recent months, as the royal family faces continued transitions and public scrutiny, many have looked to Princess Anne as the steady hand guiding the institution forward. Her calm wisdom and moral clarity serve as a quiet anchor in turbulent times. To the public, she represents what royalty should truly mean: compassion without spectacle, service without expectation. As the sun sets on another chapter of her extraordinary life, Princess Anne stands as living proof that true greatness lies not in crowns or titles, but in courage and consistency. Her story, filled with both triumph and heartbreak, continues to inspire a nation that has watched her grow from a determined young princess into one of the most beloved and enduring figures in British history. And though the recent news surrounding her health brought tears to many eyes, it also reminded the world of her incredible strength. A reminder that even in her most fragile moments, Princess Anne remains unshakable in heart and spirit.